Hi, colleagues. I just wanted to share with you some highlights from the Faculty Senate meeting last week. I'll try to move rather quickly because there was a lot of information and hit just the high points for you. On your screen, you'll see the agenda from the meeting. I'm trying to make this bigger so that you can see it well when you're in YouTube. Let me know if it worked. A few things to touch on. The president visited with us and gave us a report. She continues to work on the internal budgeting process, understanding the process and getting engaged with that process, giving us opportunities to engage with that process. So sounds like there's more to come on that. In addition, I know you all got an email about the CAR review. They are now done with their recommendations. Huron presented their findings and opportunities, and they're now forming working groups for that CAR survey. That's the administrative survey that they've been working on this last semester. There will also be a leadership working group, so a couple of working groups to address some of the issues found in that survey. Vincent Group study. The president is assessing the study. Oh, the Carl Vincent Group, right. So apparently she thinks this is one of the things that has fallen into the black hole. And as we know, she doesn't like black holes. So she is dusting off the Carl Vincent study and assessing it to see where we are and how we can finish the work of the study. So I think we're going to be seeing a refresh of that in the coming months. She's also in the process of reviewing the search process. So when we want to hire someone, there have been some hiccups that cause us to have to wait for far too long, and she wants to address these. So she's going through that process right now and creating trainings for committees and chairs through HR. Airport interviews took place this week, or rather last week, at the end of last week, for the provost search. Campus interviews are likely to be in late September. Kay Hampton is departing in late September. So an interim has not yet been appointed. That person will probably be here anywhere from 3 to 6 months. The president reiterated that it's more important that we find the right person versus the person who can be here right away. So if we have to have an interim for 6 months, then we'll go about it that way. So that should be determined probably in the next several weeks here. We should hear about who an interim will be to replace Kay, because of course September will move quickly. Housing. Apparently there was sort of a hold on the housing discussion on campus until our new president was in place. Now that she is, she will be visiting the USG to reignite discussions about an additional phase of housing at CCGA and see what the climate is like at USG for that. Likewise, she understands that classroom space is a challenge right now, and will be assessing or talking to folks up at USG about classroom space and whether or not there is A, an appetite for it, and B, any funding possibility for that. Jason Umfris also gave updates on enrollment. It was not a real shining update. Let me see if I can make this larger for you. In short, we're down. So what he explained is that this is a point-in-time enrollment report. So they're saying 20 days after the semester has started, that's the point in time. So they're comparing apples to apples in that way. Some highlights of that report. The head count is down by 3.7%. Full-time equivalent down by almost 5%. Students are taking less credit hours. We have more part-timers. Full-time is down 6%. There's a 1%, almost a 2% increase in web students and a 94% increase in e-course. So that's sort of an interesting finding. 15% down at Camden, 4.5% down in Brunswick. But we're only actually down about 1% in new freshmen. So that's really considered more of a flat enrollment number, not something to be terribly concerned about. So what we're seeing is we're down 17% in transfer students and 20% down in dual enrollment students. So that's where we've seen our real drop. So if you'd like to see this full presentation, I'm happy to share it with you if you'd like to take a look. Next. Brian Weiss from Staff Assembly came to talk to the Faculty Senate, and he is the chair of Staff Assembly this year. And in short, he explained that Staff Assembly is having a lot more fun than the faculty. They are starting a staff alumni group. They are doing a continuing education group for those who are working on a degree right now. That goes for faculty or staff. So if you're working on a degree right now and would like to join that group, it might be a really good support organization to be a part of. Faculty staff kickball team is being formed. They're doing sort of like happy hours each month. So a lot of focus on sort of fellowship and communication between the staff and the faculty. The faculty are welcome to any of these events, so keep your eye out for that. A chair report from Tate. There are some faculty handbook revisions going on right now. The USG changes were incorporated and will publish soon. Faculty Affairs made changes as well. That's under the promotion and tenure section to clarify the language. It was approved that virtual office hours proportional to your online teaching load can be held instead of in-person office hours. And Lisa McNeil will hold a workshop on Blackboard Collaborate to show you how to do online office hours sort of in real time, if that's of interest to you. We heard from Skip that the book order process is changing. Book orders are going to be due October 15th. Looks like they might push that to October 25th so they can get this new online system up and running. The system is called Discover. Another interesting thing that we learned from Tiffany over at the bookstore is that Cengage, C-E-N-G-A-G-E, has a subscription that's fairly low cost, something like $100. And you can get a 4-month, 12-month, or 24-month subscription, and every single title in the Cengage library is available to you as an ebook. So if there's a Cengage book that works for your classes, this might be a really nice option for students to get those as ebooks. And then if they want a physical book, it's $8.99, $8.99. So that, I thought that was pretty neat, and I'm going to look into that. Let's see. The USG Faculty Council report, not too much to report there. Faculty Senate amendment to bylaws established COPE as a standing committee, so that's been done now. Finally, let's see, am I missing anything? Yes, okay, these last 2 points. The faculty climate survey. Karen Hambright is working on a faculty climate survey to see how faculty feel about their workplace. So that will be coming out, we think, sometime in October, so keep your eye out for that. It's being reviewed right now by the Faculty Senate. Then finally, on travel support, apparently we previously were guaranteed $1,300 a year. But that appears to have changed. Faculty Senate is asking the Faculty Development Committee to investigate this and determine how we can ensure that faculty have the funds needed to maintain the research agenda and maintain equity across the schools. So I don't know much more than they've been given a charge to investigate it, to look into how travel funding is working now. I know that in our school, it sounds like it all goes through Dean Mounts, and that we had certain funding levels that I don't have noted here right now, but are in my notes from our faculty meetings. So anyhow, more on that later, I think. I think that is the long and the short of it. So if you have any questions, let me know. If there's anything else I can do to help communicate to the Faculty Senate, I'm happy to do so. I'm just an email away. Thanks.